It's been a minute since an anime was built this thoroughly around Japanese hip-hop. In fact, it's been almost 15 years since the last time it happened, so what exactly makes the music in this season's biggest breakout hit special? Today we'll be digging into that and more as we go behind the music of MEGALOBOX. As it stands right now, you've probably never heard of Mabanua. MEGALOBOX is, after all, the first anime he's provided a soundtrack for, but his history as a musician and specifically as a hip-hop producer spans much longer than his time working in anime. 10 years ago, in 2008, Mabanua uploaded a video of his beat-making process to YouTube. That video was featured by legendary British music magazine NME on their website, sparking worldwide interest in his music and serving as the unofficial public start of his career as a producer. Since that meteoric rise to internet music stardom, Mabanua has collaborated with numerous legends within the Japanese hip-hop scene, including Sky High, Gaggle, and Rhymester. The attention brought by his early appearance in NME has also allowed for some international collaborations, including tracks featuring the likes of Akil the MC from Jurassic 5, Ishii from Arrested Development, and American MC Kev Brown. Mabanua began composing music for anime with several contributions to 2012's Kids on the Slope, working alongside famed anime composer Yoko Kanno. The original soundtrack for Kids on the Slope blends the show's continuous musical jazz motif with hip-hop, creating a smooth and laid-back sound that Mabanua's contributions are emblematic of. It's no coincidence that he'd be making a name in anime for this kind of sound either. He's been playing drums in a jazz hip-hop fusion band called Oval since before he was even known as a producer. The only other anime contribution you'd know Mabanua from is this soulful track from 2014's Space Dandy, featuring rising MC and singer Izumi Makura. It's called Shiritai, or I Want to Know. Stylistically, Mabanua is very much a member of a generation of Japanese hip-hop producers following in the footsteps of Nujabes, a legendary Japanese hip-hop producer known for helping create a stylistically distinct brand of Japanese hip-hop and subsequently bringing it to a large international audience. This was in no small part to his composing the soundtrack to Shinichiro Watanabe's 2004 anime Samurai Champloo, a pioneering series heavily influenced by hip-hop culture that many will compare to MEGALOBOX musically. Additionally, Mabanua is signed to Origami Productions, a record label that was founded on the idea of promoting artists that combined this laid-back hip-hop sound with elements of jazz, funk, and many other Western genres, a goal that they have so far accomplished by gathering a small group of talented musicians and producers from the underground Tokyo jam scene movement popular in mid-2000s Shibuya. It should be noted, however, that despite Mabanua's demure jazz influences, MEGALOBOX's soundtrack is a major stylistic departure for him. It's big, it's loud, and it's bombastic, perfectly reflecting the show's subject matter and the swagger with which the characters on screen are portrayed. It's at times more emulative of the brash modern style of Western hip-hop than anything else, and it's exciting as hell to see that Mabanua is willing to step outside his comfort zone and deliver a product so different than what he's known for. Clearly his future as an anime soundtracker lies far beyond the confines of just this show. The other voice you've no doubt heard throughout MEGALOBOX's run is that of MC and R&B singer Coma-Chi, who's popped up twice in two musical montage sequences in episodes 2 and 7. Her presence as a Japanese MC rapping in Japanese on the show's soundtrack makes it a rarity as an anime even in 2018, despite other shows like Devilman Crybaby bringing Japanese hip-hop to international audiences as well. The fact that she's one of a generation of female MCs currently flooding the Japanese scene with their music makes her presence on MEGALOBOX's soundtrack even more meaningful. Come on. 繰り返す絶えずサイコル繋がってる最初と最後 Coma-Chi has had about as long of a career as Mabanua, being signed to the influential Dame Records in the mid-2000s and releasing her debut album Day Before Blue in 2006. She went independent in 2011, eventually founding her own label called Queen's Room and releasing 2 albums in the past 2 years on Tokyo electronic and hip-hop label Ultra Vibe Records. Since her debut, Coma-Chi has been featured as a finalist in the famous B-Boy Park MC Battle Series, a rap battle that's part of a massively influential hip-hop festival taking place in Shibuya's Yoyogi Park every year that has been instrumental in solidifying hip-hop's longevity in Japan. Stylistically, her sound began in the mid-2000s as fairly straightforward hip-hop, but soon grew to experiment more with Afrobeat, soul, and funk, incorporating myriad live instruments until eventually culminating into her 2016 album Golden Source, a hip-hop Afrobeat fusion album with as much soul and R&B as actual rapping. Her most recent album, which was released this year and is entitled Jomon Green, distills this sound a bit into something that is much more synonymous with hip-hop while still retaining that instrumental flair. The MEGALOBOX original soundtrack isn't released until June 27th, but those wanting more of Mabanua and Coma-Chi before then thankfully won't have to look very hard. Both of Mabanua's full-length studio albums are available for listeners in the US on Spotify, iTunes, and Amazon, as well as numerous singles, EPs, and collaborations. All of Coma-Chi's studio albums, singles, and EPs are available on these platforms as well. Both of these artists come highly recommended from us because they really are some of the best Japan's hip-hop scene has to offer, and their presence within the MEGALOBOX soundtrack is nothing short of a delight. Speaking of which, the first MEGALOBOX soundtrack release is up on US iTunes for pre-order as well, if that's something you're interested in. Until then, we'll be watching the exciting finish of the show along with you. See you next time.